snows and then constant rain. I just kind of depressing. And then it's hard to sleep when the sun doesn't set very often. Could we go comb our hair? Should we comb our hair before you post it? You know, I'm the hearing officer, Fresno. Just as you know, they gave me the contract for here. You don't get a lot of civil service hearings, but tried to have those Zoom here. I know some judges like it, but me, they cheat. You know, you'll have a big thing and guys testify on the Zoom. There's not supposed to be anybody else in the room, but you can hear and see that he's getting notes handed to him, knowing how to answer the question and stuff. There's a lot of room for chicanery. I just read a book about it, Sarah. They do a lot of them in criminal case indictments and stuff. They said that 80% of communication is the whole body language. And people that went to their arraignments personally rather than over Zoom, the judge was a lot easier on their bail. Clever, are all of these happen, or are they going to be? Oh,
Got your monitors on? Monitors on? Just touch it.
that's just
Log in.
hands on login.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then your monitor.
there it
Got
is.
that on?
I hit the login button.
Cool.
Turned it live.
Ready? Meetings called to order for the Madera County Assessment Appeal Board. It is today, July 6, 2023, and the time is 9:06. We are calling the meeting to order. If you can all now just please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Next, we have public comments, and seeing that there is nobody in the audience, we can move on. So we're going to talk about the consent calendar and consider the approval of the consent calendar. So that would be number 4A through 4G. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar? We have a first and second, all in, for the A.
Aye.
Aye, and against, there's nobody, so we are approving the consent calendar for the May 4th, 2023. Moving into the hearings, there is a hearing that we were supposed to hear today, the 9798 hearing for the DirecTV LLC 22R006. That's number 5A. Sarah?
So the other day, they did ask me for a continuance, but they never responded or communicated prior to. And they are also supposed to have requested it within, I'm sorry, I don't have my stuff in front of me, but they were supposed to request a continuance 15 days prior to today's hearing. In addition to that, they were requesting documentation from the assessor's office literally 2 days before the hearing, and they're supposed to ask that for that exchange of information 30 days prior to the hearing.
Can I hear from the assessors?
So I denied their request to postpone as a matter of right and asked them to please be present to request the continuance on their own behalf, and they are not here.
Okay, so can we hear from the appraisers here in Madera County?
Good morning, board members. I'm Trent Cooper, Deputy Assessors for the Assessor's Office. I did request informations back in February 6th to the agent. I have not received any response or communications to date. And the request for postponement. Okay. As Ms. Anderson stated, I would respectfully request for a denial of, for lack of appearance.
All righty, thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and make a motion. You guys have any questions?
Now, will they have a chance to re-deny it? Chance, sounds like they were
Appeal it?
trying to, did they turn something into you at all?
Not at all, no communications
Oh,
of
okay.
any
Oh, I
kind
thought you-
either.
Or they-
I did try to request information, but that
they
was,
didn't? Okay, and that's okay.
didn't go nowhere.
Okay.
Under
They
the rules,
sent
it's
the
all-
information to me on Monday. And I did forward it to the assessor's office, but because they requested the postponement on Monday,
Oh, and
yeah, I had already posted the agenda. They had not provided us any communication, including the assessor's office, until that date.
Did they give a reason for the request for postponement?
Yes, because they had just provided the information to us, the county, to request time for the assessor's office to review it.
Well, Sarah, I think there's something important. Advise them. Want to verbally. Not here.
Is your microphone?
Sorry. So that should be in the minutes that Sarah gave him that opportunity for an extraordinary appearance.
Okay,
But-
so we'll make sure that we write that in the minutes.
So I stated to them via email, reading verbatim. Good morning, Alan. It is clearly stated on page 2 of the notice of hearing that you need to notify our office 21 days in advance. Sorry, I said 15. Of the scheduled hearing to have your appeal heard at a later date. It is also a requirement of Property Tax Rule 323, and I provided them the link. Secondly, it is also stated on page 8 of our local rules of procedure under section 15, continuance. I attached also a copy of our local rules to the email. And thirdly, on the top left-hand corner of the hearing date confirmation notice, it is stated that the confirmation notice must be returned not less than 21 days prior to the indicated hearing date. And on the request for postponement or continuance, it is also referenced. All of this documentation was provided to you and the applicant with the hearing notice mailed to you on May 19th. Additionally, you have not complied with Property Tax Rule 305.1, exchange of information, also sent the link, nor Section 5, exchange of information as stipulated within our local rules. For the reasons listed above, I am not granting your request of postponement as a matter of right. You will need to appear in person to your scheduled hearing on July 6th at 9 a.m. and request a postponement from the Assessment Appeals Board. Thank you, Sarah.
Good. Very thorough. Thank you. Being that they're not here, I think we have a good, strong foundation here to go ahead and deny lack of being present. Is there anybody here that has anything different? We have a motion.
I move to deny with prejudice due to lack of appearance.
We have a second.
Second that.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against? Very good. So I'm sure with her email, that would have been enough. And so it's denied. That is the Direct TV LLC 22R006. Moving on. Stipulations of assessed values, number 6A, 9456, consider to approve stipulation of assessed value for Gonzalez Enrique 22R008 for a total assessed value of $9,835,112. We have a motion to approve that.
I'd like to hear about it.
Brian Glover, Deputy Assessor for the Real Property Division with Madera County Assessor's Office. This stipulation of value, it's for a grocery store, the Vallarta. When that was first constructed, we did not have the incomplete information has been provided to us, and it's been kind of hard to get detailed records. The agent was able to get most of what we were asking for, and in going through that, there were some identifiable demolition costs that we're removing from the overall assessment that weren't clearly spelled out in the original data that we received from the owner. This is just cleaning up, removing some unaccessible items that were not clearly defined when we initially enrolled the structure.
So they're okay with the assessed value?
Yeah, I believe they've got the stipulation signed back to Sarah.
I have received the stipulations for all on the agenda today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Glover. Okay, do we have a motion?
Move that we approve this stipulation of value for item number 22R008. Total assessed value $9,835,000.
We have a first, we have a second.
A second?
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against? Okay, moving on to the next one. 6B, 9801, consideration to approve stipulation of assessed value for Yosemite Hotels I or 1 LLC 22R014 for the total assessed value of $21,191,131.
Brian
Yeah.
Glover for the Madera County Assessor's Office again. The same information I'm about to give you applies to the rest of the stipulations. There's 3 new hotels up in Oakhurst. All were completed about the same time. All were purchased by the same entity, but they were purchased as active hotels. They were basically put into business and then sold to the company.
They were occupied.
Just right as the transfer took place. They were new builds. Unfortunately, they took quite a while to get up and running, but
I remember seeing those.
yeah. We accepted the purchase price as indicated on the transfer documents, but there wasn't any detail or allocation on that purchase price. And what we're backing out here is the basically the franchise fees and the startup costs, those are considered intangibles under the Revenue and Taxation Code. And they're not, so therefore not assessable. So we're basically making that adjustment, only pick up the real and accessible personal property.
Very good. So that's for all the rest, which is from 6B to 6F. They're all the
Correct. Three regular appeals and 2 supplemental.
supplementals. Okay. So we're going to go by each one and then we'll just go ahead and make motions on each one.
Actually, I apologize. I had that reversed. 3 supplemental appeals and 2 regular.
Okay, thank you. Are we going to be okay with that? We'll just approve it one at a time. Okay, so we are on 9801. Consider to approve that one, the stipulation for the Hotel 1 LLC 22R014 for the amount $21,191,131. Do we have a motion?
Move that we item?
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against? 9802, consideration to approve stipulation value, assessed value for the Yosemite Hotel number 2 LLC. That would be 22R015 for the total assessed value of $21,043,333.
I move to approve 9802.
First and second, all in favor? Aye. All against? No. Going on, moving on to the next one would be 9803, consideration to approve stipulation of assessed value for the Yosemite Hotel 1 LLC 22S002 for a total assessed value of $21,191,131. Do we have a motion?
I move,
Do we have a move?
go.
I move to approve 9803.
We have a
I
first,
Second.
we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All against? Moving on, 9804, consideration to approve stipulated of assessed value for the Yosemite Hotel 2 LLC 22S003 for the total assessed value of $21,143,333. Do you have a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor? Aye. And we have the last one, which is 9805. Consideration to approve stipulation of assessed value for the Yosemite Hotel LLC number 3, 22S005 for the total assessed value of $20,785,536. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve 9805.
Second, so we, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Nay. My concern is that why do we have 3 supplements and only 2 regulars?
The third hotel was the last one finished and it hasn't been on the regular roll yet. It was
Oh.
purchased about a year after the other 2. All of them transferred for roughly the same price with roughly the same situation, but this one lagged a little bit behind the other 2.
I see. Okay. That makes sense. You know, the last one's the one that's last built, so it's going to take a while. Yeah. All righty. So we're moving on to the next item, which is non-hearing matters for discussion and direction. Sarah.
I am requesting that we cancel the August meeting if there is no objection by the assessor's office.
Do you have any objection?
Still
objection?
here, honey.
No objection to canceling the August meeting.
All right.
Oh, that was.
So we have a motion here to cancel the August AAB board meeting for the August of 2023. We have a motion.
I so move.
I second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor?
I-
Aye. All right. Number 8, staff reports and or agenda requests.
Brian Glover for the assessor's office. We're kind of getting down to the end of this. By my count, we have 5 regular appeals left, 2 of which has been scheduled due to their request for postponement, 1 for the September hearing and 1 for the October hearing. We'll try and get the other 3 scheduled on one of those 2 days, and we have 1 outstanding supplemental appeal that we'll also try and get scheduled. And that will hopefully wrap us up before we get to the end of the year.
Wonderful. Yes, so we didn't have any kind of meetings or anything pending on the August meeting, right?
I had no hearing scheduled. We have nothing continued to that date, which is why I requested the cancellation. And
Right.
if the assessor's office and I can get the remaining appeals scheduled for October and September, we can cancel the November meeting as well. If all goes well and nobody continues to that date and, but also just FYI, the new assessment appeal period began this month. So generally don't receive any in July. They usually wait till the last possible minute. So it's usually October, November when they really start hitting our office. So we'll see
Wow.
how it goes. I'll keep you updated on what the count is as they roll in. Currently, 0.
Can you go over the appointments that are coming up and then are they going to be sworn in or when? Or have they?
So the agenda hasn't been published. However, there are 2 recommendations for appointments that the supervisors have requested to go on the next available agenda, which is July 11th. Considering our Board of Supervisors adopts those appointees on that meeting date or, well, it can't be before, that's our next meeting, it's July
Oh.
11th. Then effective in August, they can sit as the assessment appeal. So they'll get the email from me with all the things that they have to do and I think Beth is probably most familiar with that as being the newest board member who received my lengthy email.
Very thorough.
Thank you. And so they'll have 1 year from the date of appointment to pass their test with the State Board of Equalization, which is an open book test. And they can do it as many times as it takes within that year. And as long as they do that, then after that first year, we're golden.
Hallelujah. Great. So that sounds good. Is there anything else that we need to discuss before we adjourn? No? We're good? Okay, I call this meeting adjourned, so we're out.
Thank you.
Does Pinedale support that many hotels at one time coming online? Is that busy? Tourists like crazy, I guess. Oh.